Hey folks, it's Gordon. Today is December the 30th, so one more day left of 2023. I'm out hiking today, a little different place than, quite a bit different place than where I normally record things from. I'm at the Bays Mountain Park outside of Kingsport. I'm really fortunate to have such a beautiful park that is just full of miles and miles of hiking trails here in the Appalachian Mountains. And here in a second, you'll get to see the beautiful lake that it's on. But yeah, so as I'm coming to the end of the year, just been reflecting a lot while I've been hiking. Really thinking about, what am I feeling now? And I will say today, I'm feeling lonely, feeling depressed, which I guess, again, normal feelings for grief. But started thinking about, one of the problems with being a therapist is that we analyze our own feelings a lot. And one of the things about us as therapists, we like to put labels on things. And, one of the things that I'm realizing, which is probably a no-brainer, is that depression and loneliness go hand in hand. And I think depression is a symptom of loneliness, maybe. And there's a lot of sadness associated with that. I think, as I said in the last video, I've not had a lot of tears lately, but just feeling numb. And a friend pointed out to me that I've cried so much and mourned so much that probably my body needs a break from it. But yeah, so thinking about what's the reset, what's the thing for the new year. Yesterday I did spend some time working in my planner, opened my new planner for 2024, and started writing down and thinking about this next year's long-term goals. Here's the lake, or part of it anyway. And one of the things that I'm realizing is that my routine, or having a routine, was so wrapped up around sister and her routine. And even as I'm out hiking, it's taking me a little bit to adjust to the fact that I don't have to rush to get back home. I don't have to report to anyone, really. Probably should let some people know I'm out in the woods, but yeah. And so all of those adjustments are tough. Really figuring things out. As far as my practice goes, I'm trying to think about, how do I want to rearrange my schedule? Because I've had the same routine for, the last 10 years maybe. And just makes sense to change it now. Because, I think normally as human beings, we gravitate to the status quo for the most part. And as I've said before, when we're experiencing a lot of negative feelings, our go-to is to try to escape those. So a lot of my thoughts have been, okay, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do tomorrow? How am I occupy my time so I'm not just sitting around feeling lonely. And I don't know that I'm necessarily feeling sorry for myself, but just recognize that this is part of it. I'm basically wired as an introvert, but even at that, being alone is a hard thing. The presence of sister, even though I look back over the last several years, and I mentioned in another video on this series how much resentment I was feeling towards her, and the fact that I was having to put my life on hold to take care of her. And so it's an adjustment. And then, I've finally gotten to where I don't have to take care of her. It's no longer needed. And I'm realizing the emptiness that space it's created in my life of not having that. Now, absolutely, I wouldn't want it back, not in the same way. I think what I long for is what we had 20 years ago. But anyway, this is where I am today. One of the things that I was thinking about as I'm hiking, and this is again a beautiful park, and I've been doing some little more difficult trails today. It's just the whole idea of staying on a journey and on a hiking trail. And I use this metaphor a lot with my clients, in that our tendency is to we have the potential at any time, not the tendency, but the potential at any time to veer off the trail, and we can get lost in the woods. And so at that point, rather than beating ourselves up for getting off the trail and putting ourselves down for doing that, really we should just put our energy into getting back on the trail. Particularly when I have worked with people that are struggling with some sort of addiction and they relapse. There's a lot of guilt around that for them. And so getting back on the trail. One of the problems I have right now is there are too many trail options for me. I was also yesterday, I think I mentioned already, is working on my long-term goals. Really trying to figure out what are going to be my priorities this next year, particularly with my businesses, my counseling practice, and also my consulting practice, the practice of therapy, and also the podcast network I started. So I've really got to, if I think about it, I've got 3 different businesses. But anyway, just thinking about what I want to put my energy into with all of those things. Not ready to retire, don't think. I think that would be a hard thing for me right now. So figuring out this next year, getting through this holiday season. The weather here today is cold. It's been a lot of snow flurries, gray skies. Doesn't do much for the mood. But I think getting out and moving does help. Gets those endorphins up. Helps me to have time to reflect. And so if you're out there and you're going through something similar or grieving, I would say get out and move some. That's always going to help. And try to focus more on the present. Our tendency when we're depressed, really, if you think about it, it's a state of focusing on the past. Most of the time, people that are depressed are constantly thinking about, I wish I would have, I wish I could have, and all of those kinds of things. But really, there's nothing you can do about any of that. I wish I would have, I wish I could have, or any of the past. It's gone, it's over. We can learn from it, but to dwell on it doesn't really help us much. And I'm mindful of that, although I can say that a lot of my dwellings here the last few days has just been thinking back on Sister's last few days and her last month, really, and just how pitiful she really was. And I think because I was caught up in it and my own resentments of having to take care of her, and really at that time really looking for some relief and for it all to be over, I missed out on what she was going through, I think. I don't know. But there's some guilt associated with that. That's a topic I need to talk through with my therapist. So anyway, I'm bringing my hike to a close here and going to go back to life and going to head to the Walmart. Oh boy, now I've got to pick up a few things. One thing that's hopeful for me is I've partnered with some friends to do a New Year's Eve party, and we're going to do it at my house. So that's something to look forward to, something to enjoy. But yeah, so here's to a new year. Here's to a new start. Here's to a reset. Here's to starting over. And we'll be with you again, hopefully in the new year. I'll just share some of this to close with. That's it, folks. Take care.